Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt your knees complain? Maybe it's a little stiffness. Maybe it's a sharp ache when you climb stairs. Or maybe your knees simply don't feel as strong or reliable as they used to. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, millions of adults over 50 experience knee weakness every day. And here's the surprising part. Most people think the answer is to rest more. They avoid stairs, they stop exercising, they sit down whenever possible. But what if I told you that these well-intentioned habits are often the very things making your knees weaker? Today I'm going to show you something different. Not a complicated workout, not expensive gym equipment, not painful squats, just 4 simple exercises that can help strengthen every major muscle supporting your knees. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll also show you how to combine them into a quick routine that takes only a few minutes and can be done right at home. But before we get to the exercises, there's something important you need to understand, because strengthening your knees isn't really about your knees, it's about the muscles that protect them. Think of your knee like a bridge. A bridge doesn't stay strong because of the road on top. It stays strong because of the support structures around it. Your knee works the same way. When the muscles surrounding your knee become weak, the joint is forced to absorb more stress, day after day, step after step. Eventually, simple activities become difficult. Getting out of a chair, walking uphill, climbing stairs, even standing for long periods. Many people assume this is simply aging, but often it's not age, it's muscle loss. And muscle loss can happen surprisingly fast. Research has shown that adults begin losing muscle mass as they get older, especially if they become less active. The good news? Muscles can be strengthened at almost any age. I've seen people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s regain strength they thought was gone forever. The key is knowing where to start. And that's where most people go wrong. They jump straight into difficult exercises, deep squats, lunges, long walks, and their knees become irritated. Then they conclude exercise doesn't work for them. But imagine trying to build a house. Would you start with the roof? Of course not. You'd build the foundation first. The same principle applies to your knees. We begin with the muscles that act as the foundation of knee strength. And that muscle group is called the quadriceps. You may have heard of them before. The quadriceps are the large muscles at the front of your thighs. Every time you stand up, walk, climb stairs, or step off a curb, your quadriceps are working. They're so important that without them, your knees can actually feel unstable, almost as if they might give way unexpectedly. Many older adults describe this sensation. They say things like, "My knee feels like it might buckle. It feels weak. I don't trust it anymore." Often, weak quadriceps are part of the problem. So let's begin with one of the simplest but most effective exercises you can do. All you need is a sturdy chair. Sit comfortably with your back supported. Place both feet on the floor. Now slowly lift one foot and straighten your knee as much as possible. As you do this, tighten the muscle on the front of your thigh. Really focus on squeezing it. Imagine you're trying to press the back of your knee downward while keeping your leg straight. Hold that position briefly, then slowly lower your foot. That's 1 repetition. Simple? Absolutely. But don't underestimate it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming simple means ineffective. In reality, this exercise helps rebuild the connection between your brain and your muscles, and that connection matters more than most people realize. Think about it. If a light bulb isn't receiving electricity, it won't shine, no matter how good the bulb is. Your muscles work similarly. The signal from your brain must reach the muscle efficiently. As we age, that communication can become weaker. This exercise helps strengthen it again. That's why I often encourage people to move slowly and focus on the muscle they're working. Don't rush. Quality matters more than speed. Aim for about 10 repetitions on each leg. If that feels comfortable, gradually increase to 15 or even 20 repetitions. You may notice mild fatigue in the front of your thigh. That's normal. What you should not feel is sharp pain. Remember, strengthening should challenge the muscle, not aggravate the joint. Now here's something interesting. Many people stop here. They strengthen the front of the thigh and think they're done, but your knee is supported by much more than one muscle group. Imagine driving a car with strong brakes but a weak engine. You wouldn't have balanced performance. The same thing happens when you only strengthen one side of your leg. Your knee needs support from the front, the back, the sides, and even below. That's why the next muscle group is so important. Yet most people completely ignore it. These muscles help stabilize the knee during walking. They help control movement, and they reduce unwanted stress on the joint. Without them, your knees can feel shaky and unreliable. In fact, weak muscles in this area are one of the most overlooked reasons people struggle with balance and confidence while walking. So in the next part, I'm going to show you the second exercise that targets these forgotten muscles. And once you combine it with the exercise you've learned today, you'll already be building a much stronger foundation for healthier, more reliable knees. Because strengthening your knees isn't about finding one magical exercise, it's about training the right muscles in the right order. And we're just getting started. Welcome back. By now you've learned about the first key muscle group that protects your knees, the quadriceps. And while those muscles are incredibly important, they're only one piece of the puzzle. Because here's something most people don't realize. Your knees don't work alone. Every step you take is part of a chain reaction involving muscles above, below, and behind the joint. When one link in that chain becomes weak, the knee often pays the price. And that's exactly why so many people strengthen their thighs, but still experience knee pain, instability, or weakness. They're missing the muscles that work behind the scenes. Let me explain. Imagine you're carrying a heavy box. If one person pulls from the front while nobody supports from behind, things become unstable very quickly. The same thing happens with your knees. The muscles at the front of your leg pull in one direction. The muscles at the back help balance that force. Those muscles are called the hamstrings, and unfortunately they're often neglected. Most people don't intentionally ignore them. They simply don't realize how important they are. But the truth is, your hamstrings play a major role in knee stability. They help control movement. They support walking. They assist with standing. And perhaps most importantly, they help prevent that shaky, wobbly feeling many people experience as they get older. Think about the last time you walked downhill, or stepped off a curb, or turned quickly while carrying groceries. Your hamstrings were working. Without them, your knees would have a much harder time staying stable. That's why our second exercise focuses specifically on strengthening them. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a gym membership. You don't even need to stand up. This exercise is called the hamstring bridge. And once you learn it, you'll understand why physical therapists often recommend similar movements for improving knee support. Here's how it works. Lie comfortably on your back. Place your lower legs on a chair or sturdy surface. Your knees should be bent comfortably. Place your arms beside you. Now gently tighten your stomach muscles. Press your heels downward. Then slowly lift your hips toward the ceiling. Hold briefly. Then lower yourself back down with control. That's it. Simple, but incredibly effective. As you perform the movement, you should feel the muscles at the back of your thighs working. Those are your hamstrings activating. And for many people, this sensation is surprising, because these muscles often haven't been challenged in a long time. Start with around 10 repetitions. Move slowly. Focus on quality rather than speed. Remember, this isn't a race. We're rebuilding strength, not trying to set records. Now here's something important. You may discover that one side feels stronger than the other. That's completely normal. Most people have one leg that's naturally stronger. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is gradual improvement. And if you stick with it consistently, those improvements can happen faster than you think. But we're not finished yet, because there's another muscle group that most people never associate with knee health. In fact, if I asked 10 people which muscles support the knees, almost nobody would mention this one. Yet weakness here can dramatically affect how your knees feel. Ready for the surprise? Your calves. Yes, the muscles in the back of your lower legs. Most people think calves only help with walking or balance, but they do much more than that. The calf muscles actually cross important joints and influence how force travels through your legs. When they're weak, your knees often absorb more stress. When they're tight, movement becomes less efficient. And when they're strong, everything works better. Walking feels smoother, standing feels easier, and your knees receive valuable support with every step. This is one reason active older adults often maintain better mobility. They unknowingly strengthen their calves through regular movement. The problem is that many people become less active over time. Their calves weaken, their walking mechanics change, and gradually their knees start working harder than they should. Fortunately, correcting this doesn't require complicated workouts. In fact, the exercise I'm about to show you can be done almost anywhere. In your kitchen, in your hallway, even while waiting for the kettle to boil. Stand facing a wall. Place your hands against it for support. Step back slightly. Lean your body forward. Keep your heels on the floor. Now slowly rise onto your tiptoes. Lift as high as you comfortably can. Pause briefly, then lower yourself slowly. That's one repetition. What makes this variation effective is the forward lean. That position allows the calf muscles to work through a larger range of motion, and larger ranges of motion often lead to better strength development. Try 10 to 15 repetitions. If that feels easy, gradually increase. Eventually, many people can work toward 20 repetitions, and here's where things get interesting. As your calf strength improves, you may notice unexpected benefits. Walking feels more powerful. Your steps become more confident. Balance often improves. Even climbing stairs can start feeling easier. That's because strong calves contribute to nearly every lower body movement you perform throughout the day. But wait until you hear what's next. Because we've strengthened the front of the leg, we've strengthened the back, we've strengthened below the knee. Now it's time to combine everything into a movement that closely resembles real life, a movement you probably perform multiple times every single day, a movement that can reveal just how strong your legs truly are. And here's the exciting part. This final exercise doesn't just build strength, it builds independence. The kind of independence that allows you to stand up confidently, climb stairs comfortably, get out of chairs without assistance, and maintain freedom as you age. Because ultimately that's what this is all about. Not bigger muscles, not athletic performance, not impressing anyone. It's about preserving the ability to live life on your terms, to move when you want, go where you want, and continue doing the activities that matter most. In the next part, I'll show you the final exercise that ties everything together. Then I'll give you a simple weekly routine that combines all 4 exercises into one powerful knee strengthening program. And trust me, this last exercise may be the most important one of all. Welcome back. So far, you've strengthened the muscles at the front of your thighs, you've activated the muscles at the back of your legs, and you've started building stronger calves to support every step you take. Already, you're doing more for your knees than most people ever do. But now comes the most important part, because strength isn't just about muscles. It's about function. It's about being able to use that strength in real life. After all, it doesn't matter how strong a muscle is if it doesn't help you get through your day, and that's where our final exercise comes in. This movement teaches your body how to use all the strength you've been building. Every muscle begins working together. Your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your calves, your hips, your balance system, your coordination, everything. And the best part? It's based on a movement you already perform every day. Standing up from a chair. Think about how often you do it. You stand up for breakfast. You stand up to answer the door. You stand up after watching television. You stand up to go to bed. Most people perform this movement dozens of times every day without thinking about it. But here's something interesting. Many experts consider the ability to stand up from a chair one of the strongest indicators of lower body strength and independence as we age. Because if standing becomes difficult, many other activities become difficult too. Walking, climbing stairs, getting in and out of a car, even maintaining balance. That's why this final exercise is so powerful. Let's begin with the standard version. Sit near the front edge of a sturdy chair. Place both feet flat on the floor. Keep your chest lifted. Now lean your nose over your toes. This simple cue helps shift your body weight forward. From there, press through your feet and stand up, then slowly lower yourself back down. Simple, controlled, effective. If you're unable to do this comfortably yet, that's perfectly okay. Use your hands if necessary. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. And every repetition is a step toward greater strength. Now here's where we make it more effective. Once you can comfortably perform around 10 repetitions, we're going to introduce a slight variation. Move one foot slightly behind the other. Leave the opposite foot slightly forward. Now repeat the movement. Stand up, then slowly sit back down. Did you notice something? The back leg probably worked much harder. That's exactly what we want. This variation helps strengthen one side more directly while still providing support from the other leg. It's an excellent bridge between basic strength and more advanced training. And for many people over 50, it's the perfect challenge. But if you're feeling strong and ready for the next level, there's another progression, a single leg sit to stand. Now, before you panic, remember this. You don't have to perform it perfectly on day one. In fact, most people can't, and that's completely normal. Start by raising the height of your chair. You can place folded towels or cushions on the seat. The higher the seat, the easier the movement becomes. Then extend one foot slightly forward so the other leg does most of the work. Lean forward, stand up. Slowly lower yourself back down. Over time, as your strength improves, remove some of the height. Gradually challenge yourself, and one day you may surprise yourself by performing the movement from a normal chair with complete confidence. That's the beauty of progressive exercise. Small improvements add up, week after week, month after month, until activities that once felt difficult become routine again. Now let's bring everything together, because knowing exercises is helpful, but knowing how to organize them is what creates results. Here's your simple knee strengthening routine. Exercise number 1, seated knee extensions. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions, 1 to 3 sets. Exercise number 2, hamstring bridges. Again, 10 to 15 repetitions, 1 to 3 sets. Exercise number 3, forward lean calf raises. Work toward 15 to 20 repetitions, 1 to 3 sets. Exercise number 4, sit to stands, or one of the progressions. Aim for 5 to 15 repetitions, 1 to 3 sets. That's it. 4 exercises, no expensive equipment, no complicated routines, no gym membership required. And perhaps the most surprising part, the entire workout can often be completed in about 10 to 15 minutes, 3 times per week. That's less time than many people spend scrolling through their phones each day. Yet the benefits can be life-changing. Stronger knees, better balance, improved confidence, greater mobility, and more independence. Now I want to share something important. Many people start an exercise program with excitement. They do too much, too soon. Then they become sore, discouraged, and quit. Don't make that mistake. Remember what we discussed at the beginning. Strength is built gradually, not overnight. Your goal isn't to impress anyone. Your goal is consistency. If you can only do 5 repetitions today, that's okay. Do 5. If you need to rest between sets, rest. If you need extra support, use it. Progress is progress. The body responds remarkably well to consistent effort, even small efforts. I've seen people who believed their best years were behind them. People who thought weakness was simply part of aging. People who avoided activities they once loved because they were afraid their knees couldn't handle them. Then something changed. They started moving again. They strengthened the muscles supporting their joints. They rebuilt confidence one exercise at a time. And slowly, life became easier. Walking felt smoother. Standing felt stronger. Stairs felt less intimidating. Most importantly, they regained trust in their bodies, and that trust is priceless, because confidence changes how you move, how you walk, how active you become, and ultimately, how much you enjoy life. So if there's one message I want you to take away from today's video, it's this. Weak knees don't always mean damaged knees. Very often, they simply mean unsupported knees, and when you strengthen the muscles surrounding the joint, amazing things can happen. Start small, stay consistent, trust the process, and give your body the opportunity to become stronger, because you're capable of far more improvement than you may realize. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and join our community where we focus on staying strong, active, and independent at every age. And remember, it's never too late to build stronger knees, but the best time to start is today.